People are freaking out about this clip right here because they're looking for somebody to explain what this actually means and how this actually works. In this video, I'm going to A, play you the clip, then B, explain how it works in simple English. Here we go.
The U.S. government can't go bankrupt because we can print our own money.
It obviously begs the question, why exactly are we borrowing in a currency that we print ourselves? I'm waiting for someone to stand up and say, why do we borrow our own currency in the first place?
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right? Because they sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money. Yeah. So a lot of times, at least to my ear with MMT, the language and the concepts can be kind of unnecessarily confusing, but there is no question that the government prints money and then it uses that money to yeah, I guess I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, because it's like the government clearly prints money. It does it all the time, and it clearly borrows. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this debt and deficit conversation. So I don't think there's anything confusing there.
Whoa. So how do we explain that? It's actually really simple. The Federal Reserve creates money out of thin air. This is called printing. They don't actually run a printer. They just change a digit on a spreadsheet. They don't even need to waste paper. Treasury Department can actually do that. They create it, and then they lend it to the government. So the money goes from the spreadsheet to the government, who borrows it. So the government can give it to all the people who voted for them. Now, why do we call it borrowing? There's one word that explains all of this. It's to make you believe that the government is actually one day going to pay off their debt. But the reality is, they never will. And instead, what's more likely to happen is people will stop believing. And when people stop believing and their trust goes down, the value of that funny money paper currency goes down. And eventually it goes down to zero. Just like every single fiat currency that has ever existed in the history of the world, they all go to zero. The Ponzi ends when people stop believing.